Hi everyone, I'm Museum Associate Joanna Abijaoude and welcome back to the Fiddle Museum Unboxings. Our break is over and we are so excited to dive right back in and show you our amazing collection. We're focusing on one design house today and we're standing in front of that section of our hanging storage banks. Any guesses on which one it might be? If you guessed Chanel, you are correct, and I'm standing in front of a few of her iconic tweed suits. Today we're going to take a closer look at the elements of these suits and why she's so well known for them. Gabrielle Chanel introduced her famous tweed suits in the 1920s. Here we have an actress wearing a version in 1924 and Chanel herself wearing one in 1929. She was inspired by men's sportswear fabric. The House of Chanel closed during World War II and reopened with a collection in the spring of 1954, and we're seeing a model from Vogue wearing one of her suits that was in that collection. It was actually not well received by the French and British press. The press thought this look was outmoded because it followed a lot of the design elements from her 1920s collections. What she was doing was an antithesis of the really feminine structured looks of the time. You can see this is Dior 1954. Though the press was slow to get on board, American clients in particular actually really embraced this type of suit. It had a lot of freedom of movement, and we'll see that the boxy silhouette goes on to influence the shapes of the 1960s. This example from 1960 has a lot of the elements that make up the iconic Chanel suit. We have the gold button, this braided trim, and the fabric is boucle, and boucle is made of a looped yarn. Here we have another example from Spring-Summer 1967. A couple of elements you see here, these patch pockets, those show up a lot on the wool suits, and you might have seen before this gold chain. It's on the interior of all the jackets. The jackets are really lightweight, so with this heavy chain it helps it to hang properly from the shoulders and give it that nice weight to sit correctly on the body. It's also a status symbol. When you open your jacket and you see that gold chain, you know exactly who the designer is. Our last example is from Spring-Summer 1964, and this is really fun because it has a matching shell that is attached to the skirt, and you can see the lining matches as well, and many of these Chanel suits have outrageous, colorful linings. In the 1920s, Chanel had many of her woolen fabrics made custom for her in Scotland. She eventually moved that production to northern France, and now they are made at the House of Lesage, and if you swipe up, you can see a video of that process. You can see our suit in American Vogue, March 1964, and I love how it's styled. We've got classic Chanel elements, the pearl necklace, the camellia flower, and the black velvet bow. And I would say that this suit was definitely embraced by the press by the 1960s. It's on the cover of French Vogue, 1964, talking about the spring collections. We have so much more Chanel to show you. This is the tip of the iceberg. So stay tuned for future episodes. We're going to take a deeper dive, and we're so happy to be back. Thanks for watching.